The Greedy Lizard's Lesson by Ants. Once upon a time, in a small village, lived a tiny and hardworking ant named Nia. Every day, from sunrise to sunset, Nia worked tirelessly, gathering grains of corn, one by one, to store for the rainy season. She never complained, never rested too long, because she knew that hard work today meant a safe tomorrow. Not far from Nia's home lived a big, strong, but very lazy lizard named Zane. Zane disliked working. He preferred to lounge in the sun all day, dreaming of easy meals. He thought, why hunt for food when he could take it from others? And as he watched Nia gather her corn, an idea slithered into his mind. So much food just waiting for me, Zane whispered to himself, his mouth watering at the thought. One quiet morning, as the village still lay in slumber, Zane stretched, yawned, and decided he had waited long enough. He crept toward Nia's anthill, but instead of stealing in the open, he had a plan. He would dig a tunnel beneath the anthill and take whatever he pleased. Minutes turned to hours, and at last, Zane broke through. He reached into the storage chamber, his claws brushing against the carefully stacked corn. Delicious, he whispered, stuffing his mouth with sweet, golden corn. But just as he reached for another handful, a tiny but firm voice echoed through the chamber. "Thief!" came the sharp cry. Zane froze. Standing at the entrance of the tunnel was Nia. Her tiny form firm, her eyes burning with anger, and said, "This food is not yours. It is the result of my hard work." Zane blinked, corn still stuck in his mouth. I was just borrowing," he stammered. But Nia was not alone. Within moments, hundreds of ants poured out of the anthill, their tiny but sharp jaws clicking in unison. They swarmed toward Zane, who suddenly realized he had made a terrible mistake. Zane panicked. He tried to slither away, but the ants were too fast. They climbed up his legs, bit his tail, and crawled onto his back. Desperate to escape, Zane leaped over a rock, but misjudged his step. His feet slipped, and he tumbled headfirst into a muddy puddle. Now, covered from head to tail in thick, slimy mud, Zane looked nothing like his proud, shining self. His green scales were hidden under layers of dirt, and his long tail dragged heavy with mud. The villagers stopped and stared. Even the other lizards chuckled. Humiliated and defeated, Zane looked up at Nia, his eyes filled with regret. I'm sorry, Nia," he murmured. I was greedy and wrong to take what wasn't mine." Nia watched him closely, then took a deep breath. "I forgive you, Zane. But let this be a lesson. Hard work brings success, but greed only brings trouble." Zane nodded slowly. He had learned his lesson. From that day on, he vowed never to steal again. He worked hard, hunted for his own food, and even helped Nia with her gathering. Over time, he became a respected member of the village. The moral of the story: hard work always wins over laziness. And stealing may seem easy, but it always has consequences. Now, it's time for quiz. Let's see how much you remember the story. Question 1. Why was Nia working so hard to collect food? She wanted to sell the corn for money. She was preparing for the rainy season. She wanted to share food with the villagers. The correct answer: she was preparing for the rainy season. Nia worked tirelessly to store food for the rainy season, so she and her fellow ants wouldn't go hungry when it became difficult to find food. This shows the importance of planning and preparation. Question 2. How did Nia and her friends stop Zane from stealing? They set a trap for him. They swarmed him and bit him. They called the villagers for help. The correct answer: they swarmed him and bit him. She called her ant friends, and they swarmed and bit him to chase him away. This showed that teamwork and standing up for yourself can stop unfairness. Question 3. What lesson did Zane learn by the end of the story? That stealing is always easy. That ants are stronger than lizards. That hard work is better than greed. The correct answer: that hard work is better than greed. After being caught, bitten, and humiliated, Zane realized that stealing brings trouble, but hard work brings respect and success. He vowed to change his ways and work for his own food from then on. Great job, everyone. That's today's story. Thank you for joining us today. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more wonderful tales filled with wisdom, fun, and teamwork. See you in the next story. Take care and always choose hard work and kindness.